Hey guys, so I decided to just turn on the camera. I'm trying to finish up this batch of cards that have this image on it. I got done with the ones that have that serval or whatever cat it is on it. And so I wasn't going to do this for this video because these cards will have their own video, so I'm not going to go over who sent me what or where what came from. I'm just going to craft and maybe chat, and yeah, I'll do a separate video once I'm done with these, and let you know, what's what and what's from who and yada yada yada. And I'm going to try not to get quiet. I have a wee bit of a headache. Okay. So I have up here the images that have, where did I just put it? This color scheme. I haven't found paper that I'm in love with to go with it. I'm thinking maybe this one, but I'm not sure. I tend to not do a lot of embellishing with cards that have colored images on it, because it took me long enough to color the image that I don't want to cover all that up, if that makes sense. Just done. I'm gonna do my best here because of my headache, and I don't have the lights pointing directly at my work surface. It's a little bit hard for me to see. My cards are almost a little bit longer than on one half than it is the other. I just stick the longer half as the front side. I don't know if there's anything I want to talk about right now. I guess, to be honest. My life got turned upside down again. Back to where I started 3 months ago. And that is very depressing. I don't want to use that side. That's a bad side. I had been saving a little bit, and I had been getting prepared to start the remodel. Friendly? Go get her. Or Rosie, what's your name? There's too many dogs. Go get the cat. Oh. Okay, I just decided to do the wisest thing and completely remove Chance's food. Chance eats wet food. I cannot afford to feed the sisters wet food. Especially now. And Luna's not so much of a problem. She's the more shy of the sisters. But Friendly constantly hops the gate. And the gate isn't meant to keep him trapped in a certain part of the house. But I would prefer that they stay in that area, because I know the only reason why Friendly is jumping the gate is to eat Chance's food. And the sisters are already fat. You know, they're not like morbidly obese where they're a beach ball, you know, but you can tell they're a little bit chunky. And so I only give them, I have a scoop, and it's about 1 cup, and I scoop out 1 cup of food, and I give them, I pour half of it in a bowl for Luna, and then Friendly gets the other. Why is that? Gets the other half, and that's all they should be eating. You know, they're still fat just eating that much. And Friendly likes to take advantage of Chance's food, and Chance does not eat all her food at once. She's a grazer, which apparently is uncommon with cats. I don't know. But, yeah, it can take her all day to eat one of those 2.5 ounce cans of cat food. And she's always been very petite, very small, very skinny. I've had her, I got her when she was about 1 year old. I trapped her when she was about 1 year old. And yeah, she's never been an overeater. She would probably prefer to eat dry food. I know she would. She loves dry food, but because she's not a cat that drinks water, you know, the sisters drink at least a cup of water a day. Like, I don't know if that's too much or too little, but I'm refilling the bowl every single day, and a cup each a day, I mean. And they always have, and so, yeah, they eat dry food. I buy the best dry food I can for them. But with Chance, she has to eat wet food. And I don't buy wet food that has corn or, you know, other grains and crap in it. But she has to eat the wet food because that's the only way she gets her water. And if she starts eating dry food, then she gets, you know, really sick and goes into kidney failure. So, she's got a heart murmur on top of that. She's had a heart murmur most of her life. So, anyways, cats always get me riled up. So, I had, you know, plans to start the remodel. I was, in a few days, I, you know, would have been working at my job for 3 months, and then I would have gotten perks, and that would have allowed me to, you know, pay for things, or not have to spend so much money on things. And this is really waffly. It's watercolor paper. I did watercolors on it, obviously. But it'll flatten out once it's glued. But yeah, those plans of, you know, being able to overhaul the entire house more quickly, have just, you know, gone. I hear you jumping that gate, Friendly, but the food's not there. It's just gone out the crapper. Life will go on, you know, life will go on. On to the next adventure. But, and of course, when it rains, it pours. And so, not only am I kind of caught with my pants down, because I wasn't expecting what happened to me to happen, and I only have to still get honey fixed, which obviously has been something I've been working very hard to try and get done. You know, things just, it's hard to explain if you're not from, you know, at least Western Washington. I don't know how things are in other parts of the state or even other parts of the country, but getting vet care is harder. It's just harder. And so, I was on Posado's Safe Haven website, a couple days ago, and checking to see if they had appointments, any spay appointments open, and of course they didn't. And then I saw a link that said other are like, it was like partner resources or something. So I clicked on that and up pulled a few. There's actually a bunch of vet clinics, but most of them were for cats. Because around here, like I said, I'm not sure how things are in other parts of the country, but around here, we've got a lot of veterinary hospitals that are kind of like closed veterinary hospitals, as in they just work with like rescue groups who TNR cats, bring, vanfuls of cats that need to be fixed to the veterinary hospital. They all get fixed and then they're all returned to the transporters so that they can be taken back to where they were trapped from. There's a lot of there's a few, I shouldn't say a lot, but there's a few like hospitals that aren't necessarily open to the public. They're there specifically for spay and neuter. And so they're, obviously that's not going to work for Honey Lemon. But I did see a couple of veterinary hospitals there, so I'm hoping, or listed, so I'm going to call tomorrow and see what's up, and see if they have any information that would aid in the facilitation of honey not being intact anymore, because we do not want to go through another heat cycle. That was just terrible. Except most time when I get a lot of the dogs that I get, they're already fixed, whether I get them from the pound or June was a stray, but June was already fixed. Ruby was already fixed. We knew June was fixed because she had been tattooed, so, which usually they do that for like low cost spay clinics. They'll give a tattoo, or they'll give the animal a tattoo. So June had a tattoo and Ruby's had a tattoo, and Rosie's got a tattoo, but Rosie was spayed at the space station. Do I want it? It'd be kind of cute on the side. I like that. Or should I do it up? I think I just like it there. That'll be a little bit of a different layout, but that's okay. So I've got that on my mind, the timer has started again because she's past her current heat cycle. It's only a matter of time before the blood work start happening. So it's like, I'm under that time crunch to get that taken care of as soon as possible. And recently I've learned to trust June to let her off leash. I didn't think that was something that would ever happen, because June kind of is like a donkey or a mule, where when you call her, she hears you, but it's going to take her 3 to 5 seconds to decide if she's going to respond to you or decide how she's going to react. It's who she is. She's not necessarily ignoring you, but I like to say she's a dog that likes to think things through. But recently, when my mom had come home from her sister's, we were unloading the dogs from the car. And I was just had this voice in my head. I was like, just put June on the ground, see what she does. And it turned out fantastic. I couldn't have been happier. Does June recall? No, she does not. But will June follow me? Yes. So if she trots down the driveway a couple houses, because I live on an easement, so there's like 5 houses before me. My house is on the very end of the driveway. So June, she'll trot down a couple houses. She likes to go poop in one of my neighbor's yards. Of course, I clean it up. And I'll usually call out her name, and I'll see her perk her head up, and she locates where I am. And when I start walking in the opposite direction, then she starts running back to me. So it's not really a recall, but it's like she knows. She's, I don't know how to describe it. Anyways, since I've been letting June off leash, she has turned into a piston. I mean, she's just, I didn't know that little wiener dog mix, Chewini mix, with her 2-inch long legs. Oh my gosh, can that dog run? She is such a fast runner. I could not believe it. It sounded like a baby horse thundering down the dirt driveway. She was thundering. But since her, her what's the word I want to, her free range, in her running, June's like 10 years old, so she's not a young gal, and she's got kind of weird, like bulldog shaped elbows, so they kind of jut outward, so we were expecting arthritis pretty early on, although, I've only had June since July of last year. Since she's, since I've learned of her love of running, I've noticed that her back rear leg, after she's been running for a little bit, she gets a limp. Which, again, when it rains, it pours. My life is in shambles at the moment. And so now I'm thinking about June. What's wrong with June's leg? Is it just arthritis? I really thought, of all things, it would be the elbows that would kind of go bad first, not her back right rear leg. And it's been pretty consistent where after she's had a little bit of a running spurt, she starts limping. And so, the very real possibility that that it's arthritis, yes, it can be that. What's in the back of my mind, and what I'm trying not to think about too much because I'm just completely scared shitless about it, is cancer. Like, in my brain, I'm just like, what if it's bone cancer? And, when Chewy died, and I've said this before, I put a lot of dogs down. I've had, a pack of dogs for a good chunk of my life, and I've had to hold a lot of my, I've had to hold, my dogs in my arms while I put them down. And, but Chewy was different for whatever reason, he was just so different. I'm still not okay because of it. And, when I got June, I got June, or we happened upon June, because I was sitting in the pound parking lot crying because I wanted to save another dog. I've always gotten a new dog right before one of my dogs passes away. That's how I cope. I realize that's not a good method for most people. You know, you should never jump into life-altering decisions, you know, when you're going through traumatic events. But that's how I coped, you know. And you know, I've never given up a dog, so it's not like I would have gotten a dog and just would have been unprepared to deal with the dog after losing one dog. You know, that's not who I am. But with Chewy, it was different. And you know, this woman was walking up to the intake door with June, and she said that she found June running along the highway in the town that I used to live in, and June was really mean to her big dogs, and so she, you know, was dropping her off at the pound, and so we took her, you know, and so June is special in the way that it was almost like it was a gift from Chewy. That's a stupid way of thinking on it, but it was almost like a gift from Chewy, because I would not have been there if Chewy had not died. You know, I was not gonna get another dog when Chewy was ailing like that. You know, he had a very difficult, don't mind the glue on my fingers, he had a very hard time when my mom brought home Rosie, which I knew he would. And so it's like, yeah, there's no way another animal's coming into this house as long as that dog is still breathing. You know, because I wasn't going to put him through that. Despite my own emotional needs, I want to put that dog through that, you know. And so I don't know. So June is very special because she's from Chewy. And June did not heal my heartbreak from Chewy, as evidenced by the fact that after I got Chewy, then I went and I found Ruby, and then I went and I took in her pack mate, Honey Lemon. So 3 dogs. 3 fucking dogs in 6 months. 4 dogs, including Rosie, within a year. Rosie was not my decision, though. I love Rosie, but she wasn't a dog that I chose or wanted, because I'm not a puppy person. Give me 5 old dogs over 1 puppy any day of, you know, of the week. I'm just not a puppy person. So, you know, I'm really scared. And so I need to call the vet, see what, you know, so I was thinking about having a full panel done. June went to the vet a few months ago, which is what, sorry, when I talk sometimes my nose runs. June went to the vet a few months ago, so I don't know if they'll cut me a break and be like, yeah, we can just do a tech appointment and you can bring her in, we can do a full blood panel on her, you know, maybe see if she has elevated white blood cells, which would indicate an infection, you know, i.e. cancer, something going on with cancer. You know, or if they want to do an x-ray, to that I would ask, you know, because I'm not a medical professional, can you tell the difference between bone-eating cancer and arthritis? Would be my question. But it all depends on how cooperative the receptionist will be, because I mean, really, they're just going to want me to make an appointment or do a drop-off, which I don't want to do drop-offs anymore. I keep telling them I'm done with drop-offs. Like, it's more expensive and you don't get to speak to the vet, you know. So if I schedule an actual appointment, you know, usually the waiting time is 6 months. That's not acceptable to me when the possibility is that it could be cancer. You know, that's not an acceptable time frame to me, you know. And what if it was cancer? Can I afford cancer at this moment? Absolutely not. I cannot. I couldn't afford to have her little stump leg amputated. I couldn't afford chemo. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do at the moment. Just shit is hitting the fan at a monumentous proportion at the moment, and I am just trying to keep it together. This paper is from Jenny, and you know, and hoping that things are okay. Hopefully it's just arthritis, but I don't want my dog to hurt either, you know. But I've only had her, I haven't even had her a year. It's like this cannot be happening right now. This cannot be happening. Even if I had all the money in the world, this could not be happening. I have not had her long enough. You know, it's like the fact that, you know, this isn't about me, but I'm still not okay. So this cannot be happening to the dog that's helping me become less fractured. I love Honey Lemon. I love Ruby. I ended up giving Ruby to my mom because my mom fell in love with Ruby and Ruby fell in love with my mom, and there just was no arguing about that. You know, Ruby decided that mom was her person. But, you know, I love Honey Lemon. I love my dog Dottie. And, you know, but it's... June is something else. June is something else. And I need her. I'm not ashamed to say how much I need that dog. So I might call the vet tomorrow, and I mean, of course, I'll be talking to a receptionist. We'll see what happens. What can be worked out. I really don't want... I've already got half my dogs going to a secondary vet. I don't want to take any more of my dogs to the secondary vet. Because I've been with my primary for so long that you know, I feel like I'm not being left with too much of an option these days, you know, besides planned, just annual appointments, you know. My primary vet doesn't really give me an option but to go to the secondary vet when something comes up, like me being very worried about the dog that I need right now. You know, I don't know. She is a firecracker, and I love the fact that she does not give a fuck about anybody but herself. I love that about her so much. It's like, yeah, she'll come if she wants to, you know. She's a... My mom doesn't live in this house, but she's always been staunchly against having pee pads in the house, which I understand. It's like training your dog to pee in the house. You don't want that, right? But, that's what I also need to have a UA done on June, just to be safe. So I always have a pee pad down in front of my bookcase that holds my 12 by 12 paper. That's the spot she likes to go. You can paper the house with pee pads, but she's just gonna go in that one spot in front of my scrapbook paper. And so after she's gone pee, let's say I'm at the computer, she will walk up to me at the computer and she will just stare at me. And stare at me and stare at me until I get a clue. And I get up to see what she needs. and she's peed on the pad. And so I'll go and clean it up, and I'll lay a fresh pad down, and then she goes and lays back down. It's like, yeah, she tells me when she's pissed in the house. And then she tells me that I need to get up off my ass and clean up her pee and lay down a fresh pad so that she can then go and relax. And she's just a funny dog. She's a funny dog and a light in my life. I thought this looked okay, and now it's not. Let's try and flip it around. I always try and check it, but then when I go to lay it back down, it's a little off center. Everything I do is off center. Okay, what's my time? 30 minutes. So it's about to cut out. So I'm gonna leave you there. Thanks for watching if you did. I'm just gonna continue working on these cards until I get them done. I've had the sudden urge to watch Meet Joe Black. I don't really like Anthony Hopkins. I think that's why I've never watched it yet, but you know, I have the sudden urge to watch that movie, so I might try and find it online after I get done with these cards, but I'm making myself do these cards first. And yeah, I'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching if you did, and adios.